Welcome back to the Digital Asset Report. Today, we're going back in time to trace the path that led to Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin didn't come out of nowhere. It solved a problem that developers, cryptographers, and even banks had been struggling with for decades. How to create money for the internet without needing a bank. It all starts in the 1980s. Cryptography was maturing, and a man named David Chaum had a radical idea. What if you could use math, not banks, to issue cash online? He invented something called blind signatures, a way to send and receive money anonymously. Using blind signatures, Chaum launched DigiCash and created the world's first digital currency called eCash. And it worked. You could spend it without revealing your identity. But DigiCash was centralized. If the company failed, the money died with it. And in 1998, that's exactly what happened. But the idea lived on, and throughout the 90s, a group of privacy advocates and cryptographers had formed an underground movement, the cypherpunks. Their goal was to use cryptography to preserve freedom in the digital age. They weren't just thinking about email privacy, they were also thinking about money. If the internet had native cash, it could be censorship resistant, borderless, private, but there was one huge problem that stood in the way. How do you prevent someone from copying the money and spending it twice without a central authority to check? The cypherpunks spent nearly a decade looking for answers. Some tried smart cards like Mondex in the UK or Avant in Finland. Others launched systems like eGold, which let you trade digital gold backed by real bullion in vaults. But one by one, these systems were either shut down or regulated out of existence. The reason why was because they had a central point of failure. Whether it was a company, a bank, or a server, it could be pressured, seized, or banned. But meanwhile, new ideas were bubbling up. A cryptographer named Adam Back, now CEO of Blockstream, came up with something called Hashcash, a way to attach proof of work to email to fight spam. Then came Wei Dai with B-Money, and Nick Szabo, who proposed Bit Gold. These weren't currencies yet, but they laid the groundwork: decentralized networks, public ledgers, and cryptographic mining. They imagined a world where money could be earned through computation, not printed by a central bank. By the early 2000s, it was clear what wouldn't work: centralized digital cash. eGold was indicted, Liberty Reserve was shut down, and even PayPal, which started out wanting to create internet money, had to abandon that vision and become a payments processor. The cypherpunks were getting closer to solving the problem of digital cash, but one challenge remained. How do you get thousands of computers that don't trust each other to agree on the same history? That's the Byzantine generals problem. It's a classic dilemma in computer science. How can a distributed network reach agreement when some of the participants might be dishonest or faulty? For decades, no one had solved it, at least not without relying on a trusted leader. Then came 2008. The world was in a financial crisis due to the implosion of the housing market. Banks were collapsing, governments were bailing them out, and trust in the system was fading. Into that storm came a lone white paper. October 31st, 2008, a message appeared on a cryptography mailing list: Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. There was no company and no address, just a pseudonym, Satoshi Nakamoto. And in just 9 pages, Bitcoin put the pieces together: proof of work from Hashcash, a time-stamped ledger inspired by Haber and Sornetta, and a decentralized network to verify transactions without trust. The result was that for the first time in history, money could move online with no intermediaries. No banks, no governments, just math, consensus, and a public blockchain. On January 3rd, 2009, Bitcoin went live. The first block was mined, and inside it, a message. The Times, 3rd of January 2009, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. This was not just a timestamp, but a statement. Bitcoin wasn't just a technology, it was a response, a protest, and the proposal for something better. Bitcoin solved the double spend problem, it removed the need for a trusted third party, and it made digital money that's scarce, sovereign, and secure, with a hard cap of 21 million. Bitcoin has no central bank, no single point of failure, and no way to print more. Some think it happened overnight, but Bitcoin was the culmination of decades of failed experiments, breakthroughs, and underground collaboration. From DigiCash to eGold, from B-Money to BitGold. The path to Bitcoin was long, but it only needed to work once. Today, Bitcoin is a trillion-dollar asset class used around the world and held by millions of people. Good ideas are built on the shoulders of giants, and Bitcoin was no exception. That's your digital asset report for today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give us a like and a follow and head over to bitgo.com to learn even more.